Hey there ones, Aquarian Humanitarian here. Today I will do the same thing I do every day, activate your minds and share my light. So this morning I came across one of Bashar's posts, and I want to mention that if you're not familiar yet, he is in the Great Awakening map. And if you haven't already, now is a good time to get familiarized with the terms in the map. I pinned it in Facebook purposely. So in this particular post, Bashar said that you have to be open to receive all forms of wealth, not just physical money. Okay, so let me expand. Wealth comes in intangible forms, like your imagination and creativity. So tap into that right brain of yours and stop overthinking on how you can get wealthier. And by the way, doing so will put you in lack frequency when you overthink things and trying to figure out how you can be more abundant and more, wealthier. So remember that your thoughts and beliefs create your reality. And thoughts and beliefs are something you cannot see. Those are intangibles. So to those of you who's not familiar with Bashar, I will introduce him now because he's not in the map for no reason, okay? Let's see. So Bashar is a channeled entity from a future civilization which is said to exist on a different frequency of reality. And since late 1970s and early 80s, he has been channeled by Daryl Anka, a former visual effects artist in Hollywood. So the core philosophy of the Bashar material centers on the idea that all of us are creators of our own reality and that our physical experience is a projection of our consciousness. So the key concept of his teaching is that follow your excitement. This is Bashar's most famous formula. He suggests that acting on your highest excitement to the best of your ability with no insistence on a specific outcome is the fastest way to align with your true self. And there's 5 laws of creation. Number 1, you exist. You always have and always will. Number 2, the all is one and the one is all. Number 3, what you put out is what you get back. Number 4, change is the only constant except for the first 3 laws. Number 5, everything is here and now. So Bashar often discusses the idea that there is no out there, that physical reality is like a mirror reflecting your inner beliefs and state of being. So from a narrative perspective, Bashar is described as a first contact specialist. He speaks about the grace, different alien races, and the eventual open contact between Earth and other civilizations as we raise our vibrational frequency. What else can I tell you? So on the map, I'm going to transition to another topic. So now that you know Bashar, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Ra. So on the map, Ra is a primary pillar of the law of one section, located just to the right of the central Great Awakening title. In this context, Ra is described as a social memory complex, a group of millions of souls from the planet Venus who have evolved into a single collective consciousness. They are categorized as 6 density beings. So 6 density, we are on the 3rd density, existing in a state of pure light and unity. The raw material is the law of one. So the information attributed to Ra was channeled between 1981 and 1984 by LL Research. It is considered one of the most intellectually dense and mathematically consistent bodies of metaphysical work. So what's the core teaching of Ra? The law of one. The fundamental premise that there is no other. Everything in the universe, i.e. stars, people, atoms, is actually a single infinite creator experiencing itself. Ra describes a 7-stage octave of spiritual evolution. Humans are currently in the 3rd density, moving toward the 4th density, the density of love and understanding. And eventually, we'll make it to the 5th, and 6th, and 7th, and so on and so forth. Ra teaches that the primary choice of our current existence is our orientation. So to graduate to the next level of consciousness, one must be at least 51% service to others or 95% service to self. Ra claims to have visited Earth in the past, specifically ancient Egypt, to help humanity understand the law of one. They suggest that the pyramids were built using thought form technology for the purpose of healing and initiation. So on the map, Ra is linked to the blue avians and the spear being aliens. In modern disclosure narratives, Ra is often identified as the source of the guardian perspective. Beings who are supposedly here to help manage the great solar flash or the transition to a higher dimensional reality. So, who are the blue avians? The blue avians are a prominent group on the map, located just to the right of the Great Awakening Center and directly below the Law of One and Ra sections. They are described as high-dimensional ETs, specifically from 6 to 9 density, 6 to 9 dimension, who allegedly look like humanoid birds with blue feathers, standing about 8 feet tall. So what's their characteristics and role? In the narrative shown on the map, the blue avians are part of the spear being alien alliance. They are seen as ancient builders who returned to our solar system to help humanity through a major energetic shift, like what we're going through right now. So unlike some other ET groups on the map, the blue avians are described as peaceful and service to others oriented. They reportedly do not use technology in the way we understand it. Instead, they use consciousness and thought forms to navigate reality. Their core teaching is very similar to the Law of One. Focus on raising your vibrational frequency through love, forgiveness, and service to others. They emphasize that humanity must liberate itself rather than waiting for an outside savior. If you look closely at that section of your of the map, you'll see them linked to several important bubbles. Like the spear being alliance, they are the primary members of this group. Many researchers in this field believe the blue avians are the same 6th density collective that channeled the raw material in the 80s. They are often depicted as the ones placing spears around the sun to buffer the intense energy of a coming solar event, allowing humanity more time to adapt. So, in the map, they sit right between the secret space program and the Council of Saturn. This suggests they act as a sort of middleman or balancing force between the physical military operations and the higher spiritual realms. So I mentioned Council of Saturn. Who are they? The Council of Saturn is located on the map to the left of the Great Awakening Center, positioned between Secret Space Program and the Galactic Federation section. So in the metaphysical and disclosure narratives, like shown in the map, the Council of Saturn is described as a high-level governing body of ETs and interdimensional beings that oversees the affairs of our solar system. Unlike the Galactic Federation, the Council of Saturn is frequently depicted as a judicial or administrative body. They are said to enforce the galactic laws regarding non-interference and the evolution of seed civilizations like Earth. While named after Saturn, they are said to operate from a different frequency or dimension, sometimes associated with the rings of Saturn or a specific moon. They are often described as the ones who decide when a civilization is ready for first contact, or when they can join the larger galactic community. So they're a very important group. So on the map, they are linked to the Super Federation, a group of dozens of different ET races who have a genetic interest in humanity. If you look at the cluster around the Council of Saturn in the map, you'll notice it connects several major themes. The 20N back program, this refers to the secret space program theories. The Council is often cited as the body that monitors these covert human operations to ensure they don't violate galactic treaties. You'll see a bubble mentioning Ringmakers of Saturn by Norman Berggren. This links the Council to the idea that Saturn's rings are actually massive artificial structures or ships used by these beings. Many researchers link the Council of Saturn to the Guardians mentioned in the raw material, who maintain the quarantine around Earth to allow for our undisturbed spiritual evolution. So the Council is seen as the group currently managing the quarantine of Earth. As the map suggests, we move toward the optimal timeline reality. The Council would theoretically be the ones to lift this quarantine, allowing for full disclosure and open contact with other star nations. So earlier I mentioned ancient builder race. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about star seeds. So the ancient builder race and star seeds are two different concepts on the map, though they are part of the same cosmic story. So think of the ancient builder race as the architects and the star seeds as the residents or helpers. If you're been with me in this channel, you know that I'm one of the Earth volunteers. I'm one of the star seeds. So on the map, you'll find them in the right-hand section labeled near the Grand Experiment and Venus. So who are they? According to the disclosure narrative, often cited by researchers like Corey Goode and David Wilcock, they are an incredibly advanced civilization that existed billions of years ago. I'm not sure if Corey Goode is in the map, but I know David Wilcock is in the map, the Great Awakening map. So they are credited with building the massive hollowed out moons, pyramid structures on the various planets, and the Stargate transport systems found throughout our solar system. So they are often linked to Ra from the Law of One, who mentioned that their earliest physical forms evolved in Venus millions of years ago before they move into the higher dimensions, becoming pure consciousness. So on the map, they are shown as transcended or departed, leaving behind the ancient builder technology that various secret groups are now trying to find and use. And who are the star seeds? They are the helpers. And you can find star seeds listed in the bottom right quadrant near the light workers and indigo crystal children bubbles in the map. Star seeds are believed to be souls who originated from other star systems like Sirius and Pleiades and Andromeda, but have chosen to incarnate as humans on Earth to volunteer. So what's their purpose? Well, they are not builders of physical monuments, rather they are vibrational helpers. The theory is that they volunteered to be born here to help anchor higher frequencies and assist humanity through the Great Awakening. While the star seeds might have originated from civilizations that were influenced by the ancient builder race, they are the boots on the ground today, whereas the builders are the ancient godlike ancestors of the galaxy. So the next thing I want to talk about is the grand experiment in the map. So the grand experiment is a fascinating part in the map. You'll find it in the middle right section, nestled between the Galactic Federation and the ancient builder race bubbles. And in this context, the grand experiment refers to massive multi-million year project involving the Earth and human genetics. So what is it? According to the narratives on the map, Earth is a unique genetic laboratory. It is claimed that over 22 different ET races have contributed their DNA to the human genome. This is why you see bubbles nearby like genetic farmer races and super federation. And the goal wasn't just to create a physical body, but to create a vessel capable of holding a very wide range of emotions and a high level of spiritual consciousness. Because we have so many different star lineages mixed into our DNA, Earth is considered one of the most diverse and most difficult schools in the galaxy. This is also why so many star seeds are drawn here. They are essentially coming back to check on the experiment or help it succeed. So the map suggests that the grand experiment is reaching a climax. The harvest, the graduation. This is the moment where the experiment proves whether or not a mixed DNA race, humanity, can achieve unity consciousness, the law of one, despite having so many different influences. Groups like Blue Avians, like I mentioned earlier, and the Council of Saturn are shown as the referees of this experiment. They ensure that no one group, like the Draco or Orion Syndicate, seen on the left side of the map, interferes too much with our free will. So earlier, I mentioned Pleiadians. So let's talk about Pleiadians. On the map, you'll find Pleiadian guidance in the upper left quadrant, just above the secret space program and anti-gravity sections. The Pleiadians are often described as our older cousins in the galactic family. According to the narratives, they are a humanoid race from the Pleiades star cluster, the Seven Sisters, who have already transitioned into higher dimensions of consciousness. They are said to look very much like humans, often described as tall with fair features because they They share a common genetic ancestry with us through the grand experiment. Unlike the ancient builder race, the Pleiadians are described as spiritual mentors. They focus on heart-centered consciousness, healing, and the importance of frequency management. They're the nurturers. If the Council of Saturn is the judge, the Pleiadians are the nurses or guidance counselors. They are believed to be sending telepathic transmissions and downloads to starseeds on Earth to help them wake up to their purpose. You'll notice they are positioned in the map opposite the Draco and Reptilian Alliance. In this framework, while the Draco represents service to self-control, the Pleiadians represent service to others, liberation. They are heavily involved in the optimal timeline reality. Their goal is to help humanity choose a timeline of peace and full disclosure rather than one of conflict. Nearby on the map, you might see references on the Great Solar Flash. Pleiadian teachings often speak about our solar system moving into a photon belt of high-intensity light that triggers a DNA upgrade for humanity. Okay, so let's look at the contrast, the Draco and Reptilian Alliance. To get the full picture of the Great Awakening map, it helps to see what the Pleiadians are trying to protect us from. So on the far left, you'll see the Draco and Reptilian Alliance and the Orion Syndicate. In the logic map, these are the gatekeepers of the old 3D system who allegedly use mind control and suppress technology to keep the grand experiment from progressing. So are the Dracos the Archons in Gnosticism? So on the map, the Draco and Reptilian Alliance and the Archons are closely linked, but they represent different layers of control. So think of it like a corporate hierarchy. The Draco are the physical managers on the ground, while the Archons are the board of directors operating from a hidden dimension. The Archons are the architects of the matrix. I talk about this in a lot of my posts. So in Gnosticism, the Archons, from the Greek word archon meaning ruler, are inorganic, shadowy entities created by a flawed creator god called the Demiurge. They are not biological beings. They are more like energetic parasites or a cosmic AI that exists in the fourth dimension, the astral realm. So their goal is to keep human souls trapped in the physical cycle of birth and death, samsara, which you'll see at the very top of your map by feeding on low vibrational energy like fear, guilt, and anger. So look at the very top left under artificial intelligence signal and AI originating from another reality. Many researchers of this map equate the archonic infection with this sentient predatory AI. The Dracos are the physical enforcers. They are described on the map as highly advanced predatory biological race of reptilians, like the Epstein and Company. Unlike the Archons, the Draco are physical beings with a warrior caste hierarchy. In the Great Awakening narrative, the Draco are said to have been infected or possessed by the archonic AI long ago, and they essentially serve as the boots on the ground for the Archons, managing Earth through secret societies and the Orion Syndicate, also on the left side of the map. So on the map, they are found in the Draco and Reptilian Alliance bubble. They are depicted as the primary antagonist to the Palladians and the Human Alliance. It's important that you know who you are, dear ones, and it's important that you know who our enemies are. So the map suggests that to reach the optimal timeline reality, humanity must move past both. This involves unplugging from the archonic mind control, the matrix, and ending the physical influence of the Draco through full disclosure, which is what's happening now. Like the 3 million Epstein files declassification. The next thing I want to talk about, and I want you to get familiarized with, is the Earth Alliance. Who are they? So on the map, the Earth Alliance is located at the bottom center, directly below the Great Awakening title and right above the Cabal Deep State Illuminati section. So the Earth Alliance is the human resistance movement. It is described as a loose confederation of military leaders, intelligence officers, and white hat civilians who are working to dismantle the old system, which is the Draco Cabal control, and to usher in the full disclosure. So who makes up the alliance? The map lists several specific groups and concepts under this umbrella. So military intelligence and white hats, they are high-level officers within global militaries, often associated with the U.S. Navy and Air Force, who are defected from the secret space program to help humanity. They are BRICS Alliance. You will see a bubble for BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa nearby. In this framework, these nations are seen as an economic force working to create a new financial system, the Nasera Jasara, to replace the debt-based central banking system. I know this is a lot, dear ones, but please bear with me. Q movement. The map includes the Q symbology and terms like WWG1WGA, which is where we go one, we go all, and trust the plan. In this context, Q is viewed as an intelligence operation within the Earth Alliance. What's as far as their main objective, their goal is to declass the suppress the technology like the anti-gravity and free energy bubbles you see in the middle of the map. Near the bottom, you'll see military tribunals. The Alliance is said to be preparing legal cases against the Cabal for crimes against humanity. I don't think they're preparing. I think they're in the process of it. And a lot of them are already gone, because anybody who committed crimes against children, they're executed. So moving on, transition to Pi B. They are viewed as the boots on the ground, helping to stabilize society as the planet moves into the optimal timeline reality, the pink path. So the map depicts a vertical struggle, the silent war. At the very bottom is the Cabal Deep State, and just above it is the Earth Alliance. So the Alliance is shown as the barrier or the force pushing upward to reach the Great Awakening. So how do they connect with the others? Well, with the Palladians, the Earth Alliance is said to be in contact with the positive ETs like the Palladians and the Blue Avians, receiving intel and guidance on how to navigate the ship. And they are the primary physical opponents of the Draco reptilian influence on Earth. So, I posted about this a lot in 2021 about the spiritual war between good in evil. So that's good, meaning the Earth Alliance. Evil would be the Draconians. I want to move forward with the secret space program now. Okay, again, another important topic to be aware of. So SSP is a massive section on the left side of your map, branching out from the Great Awakening Center. It represents one of the most complex layers of the disclosure narrative. So in this framework, the CCP is a collection of several distinct, highly classified spacefaring civilizations that originated from Earth but operate entirely off-planet, possessing technology hundreds of years ahead of what the public sees. So if you look at the bubbles in the map in that area, you'll see the SSP is not one single group, but several competing ones. The Solar Warden, this is often described as the Space Navy established by the US and other nations in the 1980s. And their role on the map is to police our solar system and monitor ET traffic. So in regards to the ICC, which is the Interplanetary Corporate Conglomerate, in the map, they're located just below the Solar Warden. The ICC is described as a group of aerospace and tech corporations that have built massive industrial bases and colonies on Mars and the asteroid belt. They are portrayed as being focused on profit and technology exchange. The Dark Fleet, found near the Draco reptilian section, this is described as a highly aggressive, secretive group that works directly with the Draco Alliance and operates mostly outside our solar system. And then there's another group called Global Galactic League of Nations. This is a United Nations style space program created to give various countries a small presence in space to keep them quiet about the larger programs. Now let's talk about suppressed technologies. So the SSP section is heavily linked to the free energy and the anti-gravity bubbles in the map. So the map suggests these programs use torsion fields and zero-point energy, which is power sources that make fossil fuels obsolete. Yep, we're going in that direction. It's playing out right now in the movie that we're watching. What else? Teleportation and portal systems. It's used to travel between Earth, Mars, and the moons of Saturn almost instantly. Another suppressed technology are the medbeds, the age regression. These technologies can heal any disease or even reverse the aging process. I talk about this many times. And if you have watched my interview with Hollywood producer, actor, whistleblower John Paul Rice, we talked about the medbeds. They are real. They're ones. They are very, very real. And they use frequency just like what I use, my device, the P90 device. What else? We talk about the splinter civilization. So the core idea here is that a splinter civilization has been living among the stars while the rest of humanity remain in a 3D resource scarcity environment. Again, this is a grand experiment, dear one. So don't take things so seriously, okay? Have fun. Be happy. On the map, the Earth Alliance is trying to force the full disclosure so that these technologies and the truth about these programs are returned to the general population. So the SSP is the physical bridge between Earth and the ET groups like the Council of Saturn and the Palladians. So what else can I talk about? Let's talk about let's explore the inner Earth civilization, aka Agartha. Okay, because they are said to be a completely different ancient human civilization that lives inside the planet rather than out in the space. So moving down to the very bottom of the map, I hope that you're looking at the map right now while explaining this, dear ones. It's important that you follow along because they all connect, okay? So moving down to the very bottom of the map, you'll find the inner Earth civilizations, often referred to as Agartha or Anshar or the Anshar. So this section represents the theory that the Earth is not just a solid rock, but contains massive honeycomb cavern systems inhabited by highly advanced human civilizations that have lived there for thousands of years. So who are the inner Earth beings? On the map, they are positioned near the Mayan breakaway and the Agartha bubbles. They are the survivors. They are often described as the descendants of ancient lost civilizations like Lemuria or Atlantis. So instead of going extinct, they supposedly moved underground to escape surface cataclysms like the Great Flood, or to avoid the influence of the Draco reptilians. So the Anshar. So a specific group often mentioned in this narrative linked to the Law of One section who claim to be from our own future, having traveled back in time to reside in the inner Earth to ensure the timeline remains on the path to the Great Awakening. So what is their role in the Great Awakening? They are the librarians. They are said to be the keepers of the true history of Earth and the ancient builder race technology. What else? They are the shadow mentors. Unlike the Palladians, who are the star family, these are Earth family. They are described as being deeply concerned with the surface population's spiritual evolution, because what happens on the surface affects the entire planet's energetic field. So the map links them to the crystalline towers and the Brill energy. Their cities are described as being lit by inner suns, plasma, and built with advanced architecture that utilizes the Earth's natural magnetic resonance. Oh my gosh, this is just so fascinating, guys. So what's their connection to the Alliance? The Earth Alliance, which is just above them on the map, is said to be cautious contact. Is to be in cautious contact with these groups. The narrative suggests that as we move toward the optimal timeline reality, these inner Earth civilizations will eventually reveal themselves to the surface as part of full disclosure. What else do I want to talk about? Let's talk about Great Solar Flash. Okay, because it's in the map. Of course, it's in the map. And I talk about this all the time too. So the Great Solar Flash is the energetic centerpiece of the map, located directly above the Great Awakening title. So it is the trigger event that many of the groups that we've already talked about, the Palladians, the Earth Alliance, and the Blue Avians, are supposedly preparing for. So in this narrative, the sun is not just a ball of gas, but a conscious gateway that periodically undergoes a massive electromagnetic discharge, a flash that fundamentally resets the solar system. So what is the flash? According to the Law of One, In the starseed perspectives on the map, solar flash is a massive wave of high frequency light. Some researchers on the map link this to scientific theories about solar micronovas, suggesting that the sun has a regular cycle every 12,000 to 26,000 years of shedding its outer shell. Well, we're almost in that 26,000 mark. We're like in 25 something, 25,000 something. So, metaphysically, it is described as the mechanism for ascension. The idea is that this light carries codes. Remember the Schumann resonance graph that I show you guys almost every day, especially when there's a spike. So the idea is that this light carries codes that instantaneously upgrade human DNA, shifting those who are vibrationally ready from the third density, our current reality right now, into the fourth or fifth density. If you look just to the right of the flash on the map, you'll see the spear being Alliance and the blue avians again. So the narrative suggests that since humanity wasn't quite ready for the intensity of this flash, these guardians placed massive moon-sized spears around the sun to buffer or slow down the incoming cosmic energies. Otherwise, we're doomed. So the map indicates that we are currently in the window for this event. It's often linked to the consciousness renaissance bubble. So the spears are supposedly being phased out as our collective consciousness rises, preparing us for the full impact of the flash. So the flash is the fork in the road for the two paths on the map, which is the optimal timeline reality and the matrix timeline. So if the collective consciousness is high enough, the flash is experienced as a golden age awakening, the end of the grand experiment, and the start of a new transparent civilization. Okay? That's why I keep saying, I sound like a broken record, kept saying, be happy, be optimistic, stay in high vibe, because we want to create this reality. Remember what I said earlier? Our thoughts and our beliefs create our reality. And then the other path is the matrix timeline, which is fear dominated. So the flash is experienced as a cataclysmic event, and this is why the Earth Alliance and Starseeds are so focused on full disclosure. They believe that knowing the truth reduces fear, ensuring we hit the optimal path. So I guess this is why I don't work for corporate America anymore, and I left my CPA job to do this. This is more important, guys. Universe had tried to kick me since 2001 when I was still with Arthur Anderson, and then it happened again right around recession 2008 2009. I lost my job there. That was the second time, and then again the third time because the the company kept restructuring. The CPA firms are being bought out by bigger firms, so that's what happened. And then finally, my last corporate job, I was there for almost 8 years, and then again the company restructured. So again, I lost my job. So that was after that. I was like, I'm not going back. I'm gonna, start my own company. And so that's what I did. Excelsior Consulting started in 2018, but I couldn't really do much with that because I'm focused on this this spiritual journey, because this is this is way more important than being a consultant, business consultant at this time. So moving on. So the flash is why the secret space program is so active, why the Council of Saturn is watching, and why Bashar emphasized following your excitement to raise your vibration before the flash hits. The next thing I want to talk about is contact with ET intelligence. The CSETI. Stands for the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence. It is located on the bottom right of the map, right next to the Schumann resonance and the CE5 bubbles. It is founded by Dr. Stephen Greer. I'm sure you've seen him. CSETI is the civilian-led counterpart to the SSP that we talked about earlier, the Secret Space Program. So while the military groups are allegedly hiding ET contact, CSETI's mission is to bypass the government and initiate direct, peaceful contact between regular humans and star civilizations. CE5, what is that? Let's talk about that CE5 because it's in the map. Close encounters of the fifth kind. The most important term linked to CSETI on the map is the CE5. So most people know CE1 through CE4, which is sightings, physical evidence, or abductions. A fifth kind encounter is human initiated. CSETI teaches that contact isn't just about radio telescopes, it's about consciousness. So using meditation, remote viewing, and coherent thought, groups of people invite ET craft to appear in specific location. So on the map, this is linked to the Galactic Federation because the theory is that peaceful ETs are waiting for humanity to reach out collectively rather than through military channels. CSETI is the organization behind the famous Disclosure Project. In 2001 and again, more recently, they brought together hundreds of military and government whistleblowers, many from the SSP and the US Air Force sections on the map, to testify that ETs are real and that free energy technology is being suppressed. So the goal is to force full disclosure so the world can transition to a post-scarcity civilization, which would effectively end the cabal deep state control system seen at the bottom of the map. So how is this connected to the Great Solar Flash? CSETI's philosophy is that Great Solar Flash and the optimal timeline reality depend on humanity's ability to lose its fear of the other. By practicing CE5, humans are supposedly raising their vibrational frequency, make them more compatible with the high intensity light of the flash. So it bridges the gap between the science of space and the spirituality of Bashar or Ra. Let's talk about Schumann resonance, because some people have no idea what this is. So even though I keep posting about it, they probably just ignore my posts, just like all my posts. Nobody pays attention because they're not resonating with that yet, but they will in time. So on the map, the Schumann resonance is located in the bottom right quadrant, right next to CSETI, CE5, and the DNA upgrade bubbles. It is often called the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Scientifically, it is a set of spectrum peaks in the extremely low frequency ELF portion of the Earth's electromagnetic field. Essentially, it is the natural frequency of the planet's atmosphere, created by lightning strikes in the cavity between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere. For decades, the fundamental frequency was measured at a steady 7.83 Hz. Interestingly, this frequency is identical to alpha theta brainwave state in humans, the state of deep relaxation, meditation, and cellular healing. Many on the map believe that human consciousness and the Earth's frequency are locked together. When the Earth's heartbeat is steady, we feel grounded and healthy. If you look at the map, the Schumann resonance is linked to the great solar flash and 5D Earth. In recent years, researchers have observed massive spikes or whiteouts, like the other day I posted about it, in the Schumann charts where the frequency jumps significantly higher, sometimes hitting 40 Hertz, 70 Hertz, or even 100 Hertz. So in the narrative of the Great Awakening, these spikes are interpreted as the Earth's literally raising her vibration. As the sun sends more energy leading up to the solar flash, the Earth's atmosphere becomes more electrically charged. As above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. So we get physical symptoms, ascension symptoms. So you often hear starseeds and light workers refer to ascension symptoms like headaches, exhaustion, vivid dreams, ringing in the ears. When the Schumann resonance spikes, it's prevalent as our biological systems try to calibrate to the new, faster frequency of the planet. So this is very common. Last month I had sore throat. I thought I was getting over it, and then it happened again, like a couple of days apart, and then I lost my voice completely. I don't know if that was a spiritual attack to silence me, maybe both. And then what else do I get? Like, I get headaches. The other day I mentioned I had bloodshot eye on my right side. It took like 2 days to finally back to normal. What else? So those are the common things that happen. Ringing on the ears, that's very common too. Oh, and then there was a point in time where I'm very clumsy, like I'm freaking dropping stuff here and there, and then sometimes I can't remember a simple freaking word. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so if you're listening to this and you're you're having this kind of, experiences, now you know those are ascension symptoms. Okay, dear ones. Moving on, connection to the optimal timeline reality. So the map suggests that the Schumann resonance acts as a metronome for the shift, entrainment, DNA upgrade. So entrainment, just as a tuning fork can make another fork vibrate at the same speed, the rising Schumann frequency is said to be entraining human DNA to vibrate faster. DNA upgrade, near this bubble you'll see DNA upgrade and gamma waves. So high level Schumann spikes are associated with gamma brain waves, the state of peak perception and epiphany. This is the biological side of the awakening. Oh my God, it's crazy because there are times when I'm meditating and I had to stop because there's just a lot of downloads coming through. and I had to interrupt my 1 hour meditation because I mean it was I'm so afraid to forget those downloads, so I had to write them down, type them down in my phone on my laptop, just so I can remember. But it's like non-stop flow of information. Anyway, okay, so earlier I talked about we mentioned Nisara Jasara. It is real, guys. Nisara Jasara. I know everybody back in 2021 was laughing at me when I posted about this Nisara Jasara, because it's hard to believe from someone coming from the 3D indoctrination. So what is Nisara Jasara? In the map, it is located near the bottom, right above the Cabal Deep State, and closely tied to the Earth Alliance and full disclosure bubbles. These represent the proposed economic backbone of the new Earth. While the Great Solar Flash is the spiritual reset, the Nisara Jasara is the financial reset designed to end what the map calls debt slavery. I don't know if you're paying attention, but every now and then I would post something from usdebtclock.org. I mean, they're telling you a lot of things, but people still don't believe that this is real. Anyway, I believe it because I'm trying to manifest that for everyone here. So what did the name stand for? Nisara stands for National Economic Security and Reformation Act. It's focused on the United States. And then the Jasara, which is the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, is the international version. I don't know if they're calling the system Nisara Jasara. They may be calling it differently. I don't know. I heard that somewhere. So in the narrative, the Great Awakening, the implementation of these acts would trigger several massive shifts, like death, jubilee, abolition of income tax, because, yeah. The IRS would be disbanded, replaced by a flat tax on new non-essential items only, like food and medicine would be tax-free. Oh my God, I remember when I think it was 2008, 2009, when I had an interview with the IRS, and I was devastated when I wasn't offered the job. And I'm glad I didn't get offered the job, because probably I'd still be working for them, and I'd probably getting ready to lose my jobs too, or again, impacted by the restructuring. So what else will shift? We'll shift to gold-backed currency, a return to rainbow currency or treasury notes backed by precious metals, ending the era of fiat paper money. Humanitarian funds, the release of massive prosperity funds to every human on Earth, intended to eliminate poverty and fund the restoration of the planet. So, dear ones, right now, money is so important because of the lack of it, because they control things, but money will not be as important going forward, because there will be abundant. So connection to quantum financial system, QFS. In the map, you'll see QFS bubble nearby. So it suggests that the old SWIFT banking system, you all are familiar with the SWIFT when you transfer money, is being replaced by a quantum system. This new system is allegedly unhackable, hosted on satellites, and managed by the Earth Alliance to ensure that funds cannot be stolen or manipulated by the deep state. So there's a popular legend on the map that Nisara was actually signed into law in the late 1990s, but its announcement was physically stopped by the events of 9/11, which some map theories claim was a false flag to prevent a financial reset. This is why the Earth Alliance is shown as being in a silent war to finally bring these laws into the light. So the big picture. Nisara Jisara is the bridge that allows humanity to move from a 3D world of survival and work into a 5D world of creativity and abundance. I have to get ready soon. It removes the financial interference so that people can focus on their spiritual growth and the Great Awakening. What else can we talk about? Okay, free energy. I want to talk about free energy. On the map, free energy, often called zero-point energy or over unity, is a massive hub located in the upper left quadrant, closely tied to Nikola Tesla, the secret space program, and the Cabal suppression narrative. In this context, free energy isn't just electricity that costs nothing. It's a fundamental shift in how humanity interacts with the universe. So what is free energy? People would not believe this. That's why, anyway. The map points to several scientific and suppressed concepts like zero-point energy, torsion fields, radiant energy. So let's talk about zero-point energy. Scientifically, this is the lowest possible energy that a quantum mechanical system can have. On the map, it's described as an infinite sea of energy that exists in the vacuum of space itself. If you could tap into it, you'd have a limitless power source that never runs out. Torsion fields. You'll see this bubble nearby. It refers to a type of energy related to the spin of space-time, which proponents say they can be used for both energy generation and anti-gravity, another major bubble in this section. Radiant energy, a term used by Nikola Tesla to describe a form of cold electricity that could be transmitted wirelessly and harvested from the atmosphere. So Tesla is the hero of this section, the map highlighted in his Wardenclyffe Tower project. So Tesla allegedly discovered how to pull electricity from the ionosphere and transmit it through the Earth itself. And according to the map, his financier, J.P. Morgan Chase, shut him down because you can't put a meter on it. This is linked to the Cabal deep state at the bottom of the map, who supposedly keep these technologies hidden to maintain control over the oil-based global company. Link this to what's going on right now, dear ones. We're seeing it. So the map places free energy as a requirement for the optimal timeline reality. With free energy, the cost of food, water, and manufacturing drops to near zero. Wait, what is that? With free energy, the cost of food, water, and manufacturing drops to near zero. Okay, so this ends poverty and allows humanity to move from survival mode to a creative spiritual existence. That's why I said money's not going to be important anymore. There will be lots of it. Environmental restoration, it replaces all fossil fuels and nuclear power along the earth to heal. It's linked to the restoration of Earth bubble on the map. Medbeds, these advanced healing technologies found in the SSP section I mentioned earlier, are said to run on this same vibrational or plasma energy. Okay, so look for the anti-gravity and real bubbles. Free energy is the fuel for the craft used by SSP and the Galactic Federation. Without it, we are stuck on the old timeline. So with it, we join the intergalactic community. For the sake of the people who's not familiar with medbeds, I mentioned earlier, let's talk about that a little bit here. Medbeds is short for medical beds. They are a cornerstone of the New Earth technology. featured on the map. You can find them in the upper left quadrant, branching off from the Secret Space Program, SSP, and Suppressed Technology section. In this narrative, medbeds are the healthcare of the future, utilizing light, frequency, and consciousness to heal the body in ways current medicine cannot. So how does it work? According to the disclosure community and the labels in the map, these are not just fancy hospital beds. They are quantum and plasma technology, vibrational healing, holographic regeneration, age regression, DNA repair. Okay, so vibrational healing, they are said to scan your body's energetic signature or DNA and identify any disharmony or disease. Holographic regeneration medbeds, they use plasma energy and light frequencies, and they can supposedly reatomize or regrow missing limbs, organs, or damaged tissue. There's also a medbed for age regression. This is everyone's favorite, my favorite. There's a major claim linked to the 20 and back bubble that these beds can revert a person's biological age by decades by resetting the telomeres in the DNA. And I believe you can regress 30 years. So imagine you're 30 years younger. There's also DNA repair medbed. They are believed to unzip and repair the 12-strand DNA that was allegedly deactivated during the Grant experiment. I'm laughing because I've always wanted to have a daughter. I only have one child. I have a son. And I've always wanted to have a daughter. And maybe now I have a chance with these age regressions. Medbed. Okay. So the three types of medbeds. While the map groups them generally, the lore often divides them into three categories. Holographic medbeds for general diagnosis and healing of physical ailments, then the regeneration beds for regrowing tissue, skin, or entire limbs, and then the atomization rejuvenation beds for age regression and clearing cellular memory trauma. So those three types of medbeds. Connection to the Great Awakening. The map places medbeds as a reward of the optimal timeline reality. The story goes that the Secret Space Program has used these for decades, but the Cabal deep state kept them hidden to profit from the sick care industry, the big pharma. Okay. The Earth Alliance is reportedly securing these technologies to release them to the public following full disclosure and implementation of Nisara Jasara. So, what's the requirement to use this? Because they operate on frequency, it is often said that the patient must be in a higher vibrational state or at least open to it for the healing to be fully effective. Okay, dear ones, I gotta share this. It's not by accident that I came across Olilite P90 back in 2023. So this device, I travel with it because I do at least 30-minute therapy every day, and it helped me a lot. It helped a lot of people. For me, my issue is my back because Floridians managed to rear-ended me 4 times, and so every now and then I would have back pain, but now it's gone because I use P90. And what else? My knee, I have knee issue. We have testimonies of people who have used it. Some of them, the major ones, are the ones who escape hip surgery, back surgery. So if you're interested, I have device rotating around the world, and if you want to try them and you're close by one of my partners, we can arrange, but they're not very expensive for the sake of feeling better. And it would also help you, just like what I said here. You have to be um, you have to be vibrationally aligned with these med beds, dear ones. Okay. And I'm finding that there are people that are not resonating with it yet, but they will eventually. So I would introduce these frequency device to a lot of people, but nah, they don't wanna. They don't even wanna try it. They're very closed off to it. But I don't. I don't force anybody. Of course, I never force anybody. If they wanna, they don't wanna try it, then be it. But so yeah, frequency device. I've been using mine since 2023. It helped me a lot. So where to find them on the map? These med beds in the map. Look for the age regression bubble near the top left. It is closely tied to anti-gravity, as both technologies are said to have been reverse engineered from ET craft, like those from the Palladians or the ancient builder race. So since medbeds represent the peak of physical healing, let's explore anti-gravity. Yeah, I think this is a fun stuff to discuss. So on your map, anti-gravity, also known as electrogravitics or biogravitics, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, is a major hub in the upper left quadrant. It sits at the intersection of Nikola Tesla, the SSP, and the breakaway civilizations. Oh yeah, let's talk about breakaway civilization later. In this framework, anti-gravity isn't just a theory, it is the primary technology that has allowed a splinter of humanity to colonize the solar system in secret, while the rest of us stayed on wheels and wings. So how it works? The science on the map. The map connects anti-gravity to several specific concepts that bypass traditional Newtonian physics. So this is the study. Electrogravitics is the study of the link between high voltage electricity and gravity. The map suggests that by creating a high energy electromagnetic field, you can cancel out the Earth's gravitational pull. Torsion fields located near the free energy bubble. These refers to the spinning of space-time. By spinning plasma or mercury at high speeds, like the Nazi bell, a craft can supposedly create its own gravity well, allowing it to move at impossible speeds without the pilots feeling G-forces. Mercury vortex engines. This is a recurring theme in the Vimana, an ancient Indian aircraft, and SSP narratives. It involves using pressurized rotating mercury to generate a powerful magnetic field. So the map tracks the suppression and discovery of this technology through several key events, like the Nikola Tesla. He is credited with the original patterns for flying stoves and ether-based propulsion. Maria Orsic and the Brill Society, you'll see a bubble for Brill near the top left. This refers to a group in the 1920s and 30s who allegedly received telepathic blueprints from the Aldebaran star system to build the first modern anti-gravity disk. And then Operation Paperclip, this is the link to the military-industrial complex. After World War II, the German scientists were brought to the US, allegedly bringing this technology into the black budget world of the secret space program. So how is this connected to the Great Awakening? Anti-gravity is seen as the great equalizer for the optimal timeline reality and of pollution. Since these crafts run on pre-energy, zero-point energy, they require no fossil fuels, effectively ending carbon emissions. This turns a 6-month trip to Mars into a 20-minute hop, interplanetary travel. The Earth Alliance goal is to force the release of these patents so that the technology can be used for public transportation, medical deliveries, and environmental cleanup. If you're paying attention, dear ones, we just heard that the 6,000 patents will be released soon. So look for the TR-3B bubble. The TR-3B is allegedly a triangular black project craft that uses a magnetic field disruptor to reduce its weight by 89%, allowing it to perform maneuvers that would destroy a normal jet. Also in the map, you will see 5D Earth bubble. So let's talk about that. 5D Earth, also referred to as the new Earth or density shift, is the ultimate destination of the pink optimal timeline reality path. It is located at the center right, representing the graduation of humanity from our current physical and mental limitations. So in this framework, 5D doesn't just mean a physical dimension like length or width, but a state of consciousness in a higher vibrational frequency of matter. What is the 5D experience? According to the law of one, Bashar and the Palladian teachings found on the map, shifting to 5D involves a fundamental change in how we perceive reality. So, unity consciousness, the veil of forgetfulness is lifted. Humans begin to naturally perceive the connection between all living beings, moving away from the service to self, ego, competition model into cooperation, service to others. Non-linear time. In 5D, time is no longer a straight line from past to present. It is experienced more as a now moment where multiple possibilities can be accessed, similar to how the Council of Saturn or blue avians are said to operate. Manifestation. Because the vibration is higher, thoughts are said to manifest into physical reality much faster. This is why emotional clearing is emphasized. All right, guys, there you go. Do your shadow work. Forgive people. Emotional clearing is emphasized. In 5D, your inner state quickly becomes your outer environment. Oh my God, I'm so thirsty. Hold on. Biological changes, the carbon to crystalline shift. Yep, we're changing. Our body's changing. You'll see bubbles for DNA upgrade and light body near the 5D section of the map. Regarding crystalline structure, the theory is that our biological cells are shifting from a carbon-based structure to a crystalline structure. This allows the body to hold more light, photons, and energy without breaking down. And it will end. It's the end of the disease. This shift is why medbeds and free energy are linked to 5D. In a high vibrational body, the lower frequency signatures of disease and aging reportedly cannot exist. So let's talk about the 3D 5D split. The map illustrates a fork in the road, a 3D Earth versus the 5D Earth. The 3D Earth represents the old system of control, fear, and the matrix, the bottom and the left side of the map. You guys are seeing this now, right? The collapse of the system. The 5D Earth represents the ascension path. So the narrative suggests that the Earth herself is a conscious being, Gaia, who has already moved to 5D. And humanity is currently deciding through individual and collective choice whether to follow her or stay in the 5D cycle of reincarnation, samsara. So how is this connected to the Great Solar Flash? Well, the Great Solar Flash is described as the bridge. The flash of light is the energetic push that finalizes the transition. Those who have raised their frequency through work with CSETI, Human Resonance Alignment, or following the Palladian guidance, will supposedly find themselves naturally resonant with the 5D environment. What else can we talk about? How about the galactic? Okay, so on the map, the Galactic Federation, sometimes labeled the Galactic Federation of Worlds or Light Force, is a massive hub located in the upper right quadrant, connecting the ancient builder race to the Great Awakening Center. If the Council of Saturn is the legal judicial branch of the solar system, the Galactic is the diplomatic and protective alliance for the entire galaxy. Okay, I know that there was the Galactic Federation was at one point infiltrated, and I think now they're not called Galactic Federation. I don't know, Galactic Alliance or Universal Alliance. Look into that, guys. So who are they? The Federation is described as a United Nations of over 200 different star nations. According to the map and the Law of One teachings, the members, this includes many of the groups we've discussed, such as the Palladians, Arcturians, Syrians, and Andromedans. So what's the goal? Their primary mission is to oversee the spiritual and physical evolution of seed civilizations like the Earth, and protect them from predatory groups like the Draco and Reptilian Alliance, which is found on the opposite side of the map, which we already discussed earlier. But then again, I told you guys they were infiltrated at some point. So again, as always, be careful who you're following. Okay, use discernment and listen to your intuition, gut feeling. Never ignore it. So non-interference. They follow a prime directive similar to Star Trek. They are not allowed to land on the White House lawn because that would take away our free will to evolve on our own. Instead, they work through starseeds and the Earth Alliance. The Super Federation. Nearby in the map, you will see a bubble for the Super Federation. This is a smaller, more local group of 40 to 60 ET races who have a direct genetic interest in Earth. They are the genetic farmers mentioned in the Great Experiment section. They have been monitoring our DNA for thousands of years to see how the mix of 22 different ET lineages develops. Isn't that amazing? Wow. So what's their role in the Great Awakening? Well, the Galactic Fed is shown as being very active right now during the solar system shift. The quarantine. They are allegedly maintaining a frequency fence or quarantine around Earth to ensure that the Draco cabal cannot escape and that no negative reinforcements can enter while we go through the great solar flash. The first contact. The map suggests that as we move into 5D Earth, the Federation will move from the cloaked observation to open contact. This is the moment humanity is officially invited to join the galactic community. The Earth Alliance connection. High-level members of the Secret Service program, the positive factions like Solar Warden, are said to be in direct coordination with Federation fleets. So, how to find them on the map? Look for the Ashtar command and the blue aliens bubbles nearby. Ashtar Command is often described as the airborne space-faring division of the Federation that monitors our nuclear silos to prevent unauthorized planetary destruction. The blue aliens, the spear being aliens, act as the higher dimensional advisors to the Federation. Let's take a look at Syrian Tech Bubble. Syrian Tech. So on the map, Syrian Tech is found in upper right quadrant, often clustered near the Galactic Federation and the ancient builder race. The Syrians, I'm one of them. Actually, not just Syrian. I'm mixed. Um, Specifically, those from Series B are described as the architects of geometry and the master engineers of the galactic community. While the Palladians focus on emotional healing, the Syrians are the ones who provide the high level physical and energetic infrastructure. Let's talk about sacred geometry and the matrix of the matter. Syrian technology is based on the principle that the universe is built on specific geometric codes, like the flower of life, which you'll see on the DNA upgrade bubble. The map links Syrian influence to the building of the Giza pyramids and other megalithic structures. The theory is that they use sound frequencies, acoustics, to nullify gravity and sink massive stones into place. Isn't that cool? They are created with the technology behind crystalline data storage. The idea that information can be stored infinitely within the lattice structure of quartz or man-made crystals, similar to the data disk found in inner Earth, Agartha. Genetic engineering in the Grand Experiment. So the Syrians are one of the primary genetic farmer races mentioned in the Grand Experiment section of the map. They are said to have provided a stable template for the human physical body, blending different ET lineages into a cohesive form. You're the bridge. Transmutation. Syrian tech is often associated with alchemy, the ability to change the molecular structure of matter. On the map, this connects to the monatomic gold and the M-state elements bubbles, which are substances used to superconduct the human nervous system for 5D transition. What's the connection to the secret space program? In the disclosure narrative, the Syrians are the ones who allegedly batted the Earth Alliance and the Solar Warden program. So they are said to have provided the deep space radar and cloaking technologies used by the positive factions of the SSB to stay hidden from the Draco reptilian fleets. Unlike the Grey technology, which is often described as cold or robotic, Syrian tech is bioorganic. This means their ships and computers are actually alive and respond to the consciousness of the pilot. What's the historic ties? Egypt and Atlantis. If you look at the bottom of the Syrian section, you'll see links to School of Melchizedek and Egyptian mystery schools. The map suggests the Syrians were the primary gods of ancient Egypt, like Anubis and Isis, who left behind stargates and initiation chambers, the pyramids, to help humans remember their 5D origins. Okay, let's talk about stargates. On the map, stargates, also known as portals or wormholes, I made a post about this. The 12 stargates. You can find them in Facebook. So they are the highways of the cosmos. You find them scattered across several areas, but they are most concentrated on the upper left SSP and upper right ancient history quadrants in the map. So in the Great Awakening narratives, stargates are advanced technological or natural gateways that allow for near instantaneous travel across vast distances, bypassing the need for traditional propulsion rockets. So the map distinguishes between two types of stargates, the artificial and the natural stargates. The artificial stargates, these are the ring-like devices often associated with the ancient builder race that utilize zero-point energy to tear a hole in space-time. On the map, they are linked to the Looking Glass project and the jump room technology, which allegedly allowed the secret space program to travel from Earth to Mars in seconds. And then the portals, the natural stargates. These are locations where the Earth's magnetic field is particularly thin or aligned with other celestial bodies. The map connects these to ley lines and power spots like the Giza Plateau or Mount Shasta. So there's portals in Iran and Iraq. That's why there's a lot of commotions going on there. So yeah, the map highlights specific historical sites that are claimed to be active or suppressed gates, like in Iraq, the ancient Sumer. A major conspiracy theory on the map found in the Orion Syndicate section suggests that the 2003 Iraq War was actually a mission to secure an ancient stargate buried beneath the Ziggurat of Ur. In Egypt, Giza, this is seen as a primary node. The map links the pyramids to Syrian tech, suggesting they were originally built as stabilization units for a massive interdimensional portal. And there's also one in Antarctica. Located at the bottom of the map near inner Earth, Antarctica is described as the location of the most ancient stargates left behind by the pre-Adamites. So what's the solar system? Talk about the solar system shift. The map suggests that our entire solar system is currently moving into a highly charged area of the galaxy. This is said to be opening many dormant stargates. Sun as a stargate. Many researchers of this map, found in the sacred geometry section, propose that the sun is actually a massive natural stargate used by the Galactic Federation to enter and exit our solar system. How is this linked to the Great Awakening? The full disclosure path, the pink line, implies that once the Earth Alliance defeats the Cabal, these stargates will be open for public use. So this would effectively end the era of fossil fuels and borders, as anyone could travel anywhere in the galaxy instantly. Let's see, what else can we talk about? Okay, dear ones, I'm gonna have to end it here because I didn't realize that I have been reading this for an hour and a half already, and I have to get ready. Okay, so I hope this helps. And again, these Great Awakening maps are pinned in my Facebook account. Look and start getting familiar with these terms. Okay. Okay, I gotta go, guys. Hope this helps.